Well, I wanted to reference one koan, one of my favorites. I've got a number of favorite koans. But as one does a formal koan study, as I've completed, you do about 500 or 600 koans, and a lot of them are in collections. Some are private collections. Each lineage has their own, they call them miscellaneous koans of anywhere from 50 to 200 koans. And then there are organized koans, the Blue Cliff Record, the Muman Khan, which means the gateless gate. And one of the collections called the Book of Equanimity. And there's a difference in each of the collections. There's sort of themes and patterns in it. And the Book of Equanimity is one of the collections I particularly like a lot. And the first koan in that collection, I'm just going to read for you. Koan's attention. One day the world-honored one ascended the platform and took his seat. Manjushri struck the sounding board and said, "When you realize the Dharma King's Dharma, the Dharma King's Dharma is just as is." At that, the world-honored one descended the platform. So it's a marvelous koan. We have the Buddha ascending the teaching platform to teach, and Manjushri, who's the bodhisattva of wisdom, the embodiment of wisdom, strikes us and says, when you realize the Dharma King's Dharma. Now, who's the Dharma King? What's the Dharma King? Most people would start by saying, well, that's the Buddha. Well, yeah, it's the Buddha, but it's not pointing. The Buddha is an identity. It's can be a personality, or at least a personhood. And we're pointing to something more than that, something more fundamental. So the Dharma King is the absolute. So it's saying when we realize the absolute's Dharma, when we realize the truth and freedom of the absolute, just that is it. That's the language. The Dharma King's Dharma is just as is. That moment of liberation, that moment of freedom when the self is relaxed, when the convictions are not pressing, that's it. So that's what this koan is pointing to, is the recognition we don't need words. The contact is the point. Realizing it for yourself as a truth, that's what we're doing. And then it becomes your truth, not a personal possession, not a personality possession, but a truth of your being. So that's why we practice.